I actually wanted to geek out a little bit today, share a bit from my profiling system to help you understand the inner motivators, because we're not the same. We're all different. Everybody said, learn from my mistake so you don't make yours. Why it doesn't work? Because we're not the same. We can train, work with psychologists, take endless courses, but not all of it is applicable to us. And we don't know how to make it work for us if we don't know ourselves. So I will share today some info to help you understand yourself better. Once you understand your core motivators, then you can work out more effective business strategy that is applicable to you. And then maybe we'll finish this hypnosis session. We're all good? Yeah, with that? I will share few profiles. Even though we may fit into certain category, you still have to adapt it to yourself. Even within same category, we're all different. So the profiling system is based on prime emotions. This is what drives your choices, behaviors. This is what shows your core fear. Most of your life is driven by that. All these personality profiles that I will go through at some degree will be applicable to you. What you're looking for, which is the most prominent in you. You'll have to pick two. One is your prime, how you are real, genuine, authentic self when you're not under pressure, not in crisis, when you're not under threat of some sorts, when you are relaxed. This is the most real you. And the next one, adapted, it's maybe not something you're born with, subtype, that you use a strategy. So first, who you are and what you need. And the second subtype is how you get what you need, or what turns on as a means of achieving certain goal in crisis. These personality types are wired physically in our brain, in our neurology. You cannot change it. You can change the subtype. It depends on your circumstances, your environment, and what goals do you have at the moment. It's very hard to change it, but we can change it. But your main type, it's physically wired. Some of those types actually you're born with. Before you're born, it's already wired. And some are formed during early childhood. All of it is set and unchangeable by the age of 5. So when people say, well, you can change. No, you cannot. You can become better at who you are and make it work for you. This is what you can control. But what's, happening there from your birth, you cannot change it. That's why some strategies may not work for you. You observe other people, works wonderfully for them, but not for you. It's just because they're not designed for you. First one is Harmonizer. Love and the sense of belonging. You're very tribal. You need to be part of community very much. So we all have that need. But for Harmonizer, this is primal need. These people are emotional glue of all communities. Can be big community or can be, small unit as your friendships or your family. So you're the ones that hold your family together. You're the one that hold friendships together, because this is as important as breathing for you. You're caring, supportive, deeply relational. Harmony in relationships and mutual trust is important. Conflict drains you. Connection nourishes you. You're going to have ups and downs. When everything's great in your relationship, whatever relationship that is important to you at the moment, when everything's great, you're at your high. You have lots of energy. You feel great. You can function very well. If something happened in your relationship, energy drops, you're slipping into depression or anxiety. So all your actions evolve around it. And that's actually one of the things that hold us back from achieving our goals. We want to maintain this relationship. What if I change something? It will jeopardize the connection I made. In relation to finances, your core motivation is to create emotional and relational security. Money represents comfort, warmth, shared stability. You cannot be motivated by Louis Vuitton purse or a fancy, expensive vacations. Those are not important to you. Peace, this is your core motivator, and happiness in relationship. Trying to affirm to yourself, I want Mercedes, that's why I need to make $100,000 in the next few months. That will never work for you. The strategy, this is how you can adapt, how you explain it to yourself. And this is what you need to remind yourself constantly. I align my income with the community service and caregiving roles. See, if I am stable financially, I can take better care of my kids. My spouse wouldn't have to work as much. Or I can help my extended family. Or I can give more to my community. I can volunteer more if I am stable. You will probably do much better in business when you are in some sort of partnerships and collaboration. You crave that. But you have to be mindful. It has to feel safe and kind. They have to have the same values. When you're building your business, you need to focus on relationships with clients, nurturing long, loyalty-based relationships. Memberships will be good. Your best marketing is probably going to be word of mouth. The one weak spot for you is giving too much for free. So you have to be intentional with that. How much are you giving away? You have to keep scale even. The mantra would be, I prosper through harmony and heart. You're probably guessing this is empath. No, it's different. And you'll see the difference now. If you're empath, your prime emotion, compassion, and you value emotional resonance. Traditional view of empath, this is what you are if this is your prime type. Your intuition guides you, your strength lies in emotional intellect. You connect through empathy, not logic. I'll give you an example. I had to pick up my friend because he got into trouble from police station. There were some papers we had to sign, and then the policeman says, anything you need, you stop by. And my friend says, I'd rather not. And that policeman says, even if you don't have a reason, stop by, we'll have some coffee together. So that was the obvious case of empath. Doesn't matter what circumstances, he still want to be kind. So your emotional motivation would be to make a difference through feelings and healing. Money symbolizes appreciation and acknowledgement of your emotional labor. The strategy would work for you. Turn empathy into impact through healing, teaching, coaching, creative arts. Market through your emotional storytelling and genuine connection. Set clear energetic and financial boundaries. I'm thinking now I should have made you a PDF. I will make a PDF and send it to you. So you don't have to write it down. You do have to set clear energetic and financial boundaries. Make sure that you're compensated. And create soulful offers, not just like transactions. This is where it's very hard to keep it in balance too. I am just helping. If you're helping, you're not getting paid. So you have to frame it for yourself. I am creating impact through whatever you're doing. And your mantra is, I prosper when my heart is in my work. The next one is the guardian. This is mostly men. It's about 70% of all men, actually. But there are some women. Core need is a need for security and control. And with that also comes this dutiful attitude. This is our policemen, military, guards, all the places where structure needed. In sports, you'll see lots of them. Those you can recognize by the body type. Strong, muscly, men are like macho type, tough. And women too, you will see short haircut, wearing jersey suit instead of dresses, sneakers instead of heels, kind of acting like a man. They need strict rules. The need for control comes from not feeling safe. They need strict structure and rule, and they will impose these rules. They seek safety through control and order. The good side of it, they're reliable, loyal, predictable. They build foundations that you can depend on. The core financial motivation is to ensure stability and protection. Money represents safety, preparedness, and responsibility. If I am this type, that like I'm helping, this is not even in my mind. I am helping somebody to heal. No, that's not what's going through my mind. Let's make a business. Let's make it work so everybody gets what they want. And I'll make enough money to provide security for myself and my family. Build steady, systemized income streams, strict procedures, subscriptions, long-term clients rules, some sort of system that relies on rules. Automate. This is what business gurus usually tell us. Create the funnel, automate everything. If you're an empath or a harmonizer, you don't even understand what that means. How can you create a connection with a human being through a funnel and automate that enrolling process? Just the sound of it sends you into anxiety. But for the guardians, it works. They need to invest conservatively but consistently. I keep saying they. I just caught myself because none of you here like that. Thrive in roles requiring precision and trust. These people maybe not creators, but they're good at managing, accounting, compliance, security system, organization, where the structures and rules needed. If you're going into partnership, for example, if you're very empathic and creative, and this is actually your weak spot, the system, the structure, the order, if you combine your efforts with a guardian, you can do very well in business. The mantra, I prosper through discipline and reliability. The next one is Dynamo. Hyperactive people. They're driven by excitement. They will get bored otherwise. Looking for this thrill. This is what drives them. Routines, order, repetitive things. This is all boring. It's like death to them. How can you recognize very high energy? It's not always like this, because if you're, operating at your highest energy level, it doesn't last for long time. You kind of deflate after a while. But when they come out to play, they're very hyperactive, excited, loud, obnoxious sometimes. Not that long time ago at a class, I was asked, how do you build a connection with Dynamo? You don't have to, you just be in the same place. They'll come and connect with you. You don't need to do anything. They live for the momentum. Challenges, curiosity fuels them. If everything's the same, it kills them. So core financial motivation would be turn this energy into achievement and impact. Money represents proof of their power, and what they do matters. If I am like this, I cannot think long term. I need to do seasonal things or project to project. So I can put all my 1000% in this short term, make things happen, and then I will deflate and I need break to recover. This is what I see with my clients. I started business, everything went great. For a few months I did great, and then I lost interest, energy, I got sick, and I don't want to go back. People will quit. Well, that was wrong thing for me. I don't want to do it anymore. But if you understand, this is how you are. You just need time to recover. Then you don't criticize yourself. You don't give up your business after a few months. You just know that you need time to recover, and it's it. You go back with the same energy. The financial success strategy. Focus on fast-moving industries, sales, and entertainment would be good. Innovation, public speaking, working in bursts, little sprints, lunches, short, very short projects, and build a schedule that can sustain your pace without burnout, giving yourself breaks. Very good in pairs with guardians, with a person that likes structure and order. The mantra, I prosper through actions and momentum. You cannot plan for a year your project. When you feel it, you have to just do it. Right now, right here. The next one is visionary. This is demonstrative type, needs attention when the narcissistic part is active. I'm not saying it's necessary narcissist, it can be, but all of us have this part. It just depends to what degree it rules our life. For this type, it's pretty strong, it needs attention, and it gets fueled from other people. Inspiration is one of the core motivators, but they are good because when you need to promote, market, they can do it better than anybody else, because from very childhood they learned how to get attention, how to make people notice you, how to make them listen to you and give you things that you need. Core financial motivator is freedom to create and to express. Money represents ability to bring ideas to life, to dream without limits. Monetize creativity, design, innovation, art, storytelling. And you may have to find somebody to delegate or to help you with structure. If you have this personality type, you are not going to be interested in working, behind the scene, working out all your details that needed to make your business thrive. You want to be seen and heard all the time. But you can build a very visible personal brand, very unique identity and your unique vision. Weak spot here, if you are like this, you are fueled by attention. So if you're not on stage, if you need to work, write your manual, your legal forms, work on your website, and nobody stands there and tells you you're a good girl, you're not going to have energy. There is no fuel to keep you going. You can slip into depression and feel like, well, nobody wants it, I am not needed. You have to be mindful of that. The mantra, I prosper by giving from my imagination. As I said, from very childhood, you learned how to get people's attention. Be grandiose when you need to. The next is analyst. Easy to recognize them. They're kind of strange people. Lots of them in engineering, IT, science. Their core need is curiosity, how things work, why they work. Goal is not a goal. They're not very goal-oriented. For example, most of people want to make their business work because they have a goal. They need to build financial security for themselves and family and be able to give to others what they're able to give. For this type, for the analyst, this is not a goal. That end destination is not a goal. They just want to feed their curiosity. How things work. They will experiment endlessly just for the sake of finding out can it work or not. And even if they find something that works, they will not stop there. They'll drop it. What if I can make it work in different way? They can be brilliant because their mind works differently from everybody else. They can create something that never existed before, but they just don't know when to stop. They cannot make a business work on their own. They need to be part of team. So there is somebody to ground them and create a structure. They love to observe, analyze, and understand things. Their emotional comfort lies in clarity and autonomy. You see, on their own, they cannot make a business, but they need freedom and autonomy. Otherwise, their mind just shuts down. Too much chaos and disorganization around feels threatening, although they are the ones that create it. It's not very high percentage in the population. There's not a lot of them. That one, I don't know how much of it is already in when people born, but I know it's also created through trauma during early childhood, unstable family, or even if family was okay, parents didn't divorce, but they had to move from place to place in military family. So after a while, child gives up because they know they can't get attached to a teacher, to a place, to a pet. They can't get attached to other children and make friends because it will be lost. Connection, human to human, is very difficult. They try to protect themselves from that pain of losing this connection. So they're very withdrawn, kind of like autistic, you can compare to. They live in their own world. That's why they act strange. When they listen to you, they will give you eye contact because they try to understand you. They're curious about you. When it's their turn to talk, you won't get eye contact. They're someplace else. And they speak very strangely, but at the same time, they're very brilliant. Their core motivation, freedom to think and operate independently. Money means self-sufficiency and mental space to create without interference. Financial success strategy would be build income around knowledge systems, but they're not capable to build actual systems, so they need somebody's help, and very specialized expertise, because remember, their mind is unlike everyone else. Consulting would be great. Seeing clients on daily basis probably would kill them. They're not gonna like it. They value intellectual property, methods, models, and they need help to systemize and automate parts of the business. Otherwise, they won't be able to withdraw and create inside of their own world if they need to pay attention to all the details. The mantra, I prosper through mastery and clarity. So this is a very rare type, but you still may have some of it. It's nice to recognize it and, take advantage of it when needed. The next type is sentinel. Those are paranoics. That is too very rare. It's only 4%. And it's still argued whether people are born like this or it's developed through the environment and situations. Need is vigilance. There are protectors and strategists always alert. They sense danger because they're looking out. They're like paranoid, looking out for dangers. They can predict the danger because this is where their focus is, which makes them brilliant at risk assessment and long-term planning. Core motivator, control, preparedness, and strategic power. Money is a safeguard, a shield against uncertainty. Again, here, trying to motivate yourself, like I can buy myself fancy things. It's not going to work. Doesn't even go through the mind. But these people don't care about it. Financial success strategy: excel in strategy, security, use awareness of threats to anticipate opportunities, and have to learn to trust your intuition so you can relax for a little bit between your battles. Mantra: I prosper through foresight and preparedness. The anxious type: this is people high neuroticism that worry. You can recognize them usually underweight, usually fidgeting. They're scared of something all the time. Worry about something, very high in anxiety. So worry, this is their foundation. Anticipating something bad will happen. They're sensitive to risk and discomfort. Their emotional radar is always scanning for what could go wrong. But when balanced, comfortable, then it becomes their strength. I can give example. My friend's grandmother is like this. I mean, she survived war. She's still alive. She's like 90 something. So she's always scanning environment for threats, even now during peaceful time. He built a really nice company where they do home and business security. Somebody hires them to make an assessment what can be done to improve security of the house. He brings his grandmother. He places her into different rooms and leaves her for a few minutes. I go to bedroom. She'll spend like 5 minutes there. Comes out and says, I'm afraid somebody will, crack that little window. She constantly scans for danger, and she knows where the weak spot in any environment where the danger comes from. They made it work. Core financial motivation: safety and predictability. Money represent relief from uncertainty and stress. Financial success strategy would be build financial routines. Savings, automation, clear budgeting. Focus on small, consistent wins. Because if, for example, for Dynamo, for this hyperactive type, it's the opposite. They need to work in bursts on short projects. So maybe they launch, course once a year, make all this money and live on this money whole year. For person that is high in neuroticism, it will kill them. They just won't be able to bear that stress. It's too much for them. So instead, have to be smaller project, but steady, continuous, just something coming continuously in steady flow. So like big once a year lunches for you, not going to work if you're that type. You have to focus on small but consistent wins. Use your sensitivity to anticipate market shifts and clients' needs. Okay, now look what's happening in the country. What do you worry about? What scares you? These are your clients too. Now you can communicate very clearly. Well, I worry about this. You probably too. This is how I can help you overcome that. Very good paired if you want to work in teams, at least for some projects. Very good if paired with this hyperactive person and the guardian, who will give you grounding and structure, help you feel more secure. Mantra: I prosper through steadiness and self-trust. You have to identify one type that you're primal, who you are when you're not under threat, when you're relaxed, and who you become when you need to achieve, how you achieve things. For example, for me, I was identified as a paranoid, but I think this is not my prime. This is my strategy to achieve things because I'm not always like this. I am more of an empath. If nobody's bothering me, I'm the kindest, the softest, the most nurturing person you can ever find. But if, my boundaries are pushed too much, then my paranoid kicks in. And this is how I achieve goals. not through empathy. If I'm kind and nurturing, that doesn't pay. If I am like tank pushing, this is what makes me money. So you have to figure out what are personality types, your strategy, your core needs, and design your business around it. Because you may plan differently, you may do affirmations, hypnosis, but you cannot change who you are. There's always that part of you will be sabotaging you. No, but I need safety. Or no, I'd rather focus on my comfort and my relationships and give up money if this is the price. Once you sort through your personality types, you also have to figure out what is your nature. It's too not changeable. You can learn and harmonize it, but it's not changeable. Who did ancestral trauma healing course? We go there in details. The source of our souls are different. There is one is light and order, and the other is chaos and darkness, masculine and feminine. It's not dividing men and women, it can be both genders. Not just how you operate, but what happens around you. It's how the universe and society responds to you. Light and order, this is a big masculine world. Governmental structures. You can stick to one career through the entire life and it will work for you. You can follow all the rules and it will give you benefits. You can fit in very well into society or any organization. You will be welcomed and you will probably grow there. It's like government loves you. You get some sort of benefits from these organizations, governmental structures. And if you came through that dark, chaotic channel, none of it will work for you. You probably won't be able to partner with anybody. Everything that is written, in the law, in order, it does not work for you. You can do all the right things. You will still get in trouble with the law or IRS. Your documents always will be lost when you apply for things. Just building career, like following steps that usually are played for you, by all the gurus. You do this and this will happen. It will never work for you. Easy way to figure out who you are. Do you cook by recipe? Can you follow, not even want to follow recipe or not? But can you follow recipe when you cook? And if you did all the stuff, did it work out for you? I followed the recipe in my life 2 times. It was garbage that we had to throw away. And I cannot do this. And I know it will not work out. And when I go taking classes and the step-by-step guides are outlaid, I know even if I'll go through every step and give my all to it, it will never work out for me the way it will work out for other people. So see how important it is to understand who you are. You have to figure out who you are and then work out a strategy for you combining these personality profiles. Then things will be easier for you. So if you are order and light, then yes, usual advice will work for you well. Building funnels will work for you well. Repeating the things that worked out well for other people will work for you very well. Repeating other people's strategies will actually work for you better than trying to create your own. And if you are on the chaotic side, all the opposite. You have to reinvent the wheel every time. Build it from scratch. Luck factor. This is your strength. And you can be much faster following your intuition. You have the idea coming in. You have to implement it very fast. Even if you're not sure if you're going to make it work or not. You have to try it quickly. It's kind of like throwing spaghetti on the wall. What sticks? For the order side, that doesn't work. They have to, work a strategy, think about this project for a long time, implement step by step, routinely, in a strict order. It takes much more time. They need to perform, market research. If you, on the other side, market research will never even cross your mind. Well, I feel like it. I'm going to do it.
When you were talking about the harmonizer, that is very much me, but I'm also like have guardian tendencies. So could there be like maybe like you're talking about the different things, times where we can use different parts of that to our benefit, like understanding where those are strong suits for us, or again, where maybe they feel more like resistance or us being put into roles or positions, maybe in the workplace or doing things that don't align with us.
Before trying to make it work for you, you need to understand who you are and understand why you do the way you do things. What actual core motivator? What am I doing it for? You can tell yourself anything you want, but if that core personality has a different need, that what sabotages you. So first step is to diagnose yourself, figure out, and that will open your eyes on what you're doing, what's driving you. And then you can use it to your advantage.
You mentioned too with one of them, like having like the automated systems where people can sign up and things. That feels like a protecting thing. That feels good. Like, hey, I'm not giving my energy to 100 people, but then I could have maybe 5 more connected type sessions. So again, would it be like finding balance?
How I do for myself, so I am not giving away completely everything, because I know this is my problem. This is empath part in me. Because if there is no structure, no boundaries, I'd be working for free 24/7. I've done it too. Then I guess my paranoid kicks in. This is what's going to happen to you. You're just going to die. It foresees danger. The guardian, very unnatural. I'm very disorderly. I had to teach it myself. I don't thrive in order. How do I create that structure and boundaries between me and people that I'm forcing my sins onto? This is my system. Full prepayment before my appointment. This is a part of that structure. If I was working in team, I would have to find a person who would do this for me. Now I'm thinking, when I had a consignment store, there was a young girl working for me. She was great. She would lie on phone to customers, like, no, she only sees people for 2 hours per day, even it wasn't true. But she knew then I will just exhaust myself if I did it all day long, sporadically. So she created this system, and she was my boundary between me and people. But now I don't have anyone to do this. I had to do it on my own. Be not me to create that system. Did I answer?
Like I guess for me, because I in my workplace and like literally my title is compliance. Like I'm support and compliance. That is what I get recognition for. That's why I end up running the offices I work at, because I'm very good at details, systems, making sure things run. I'm very protective of the business, but then I get myself burnt out because I've been overworked. And then I have the part of me, in my own business where things flow. I connect with people. All my business comes through referrals. So it's almost
So
like
the guardian is a subtype because you had to. It's not you naturally.
I have that Virgo personality of everything has a place. So I do think that there is a
Some
gift
of it.
for
Okay.
me, but I need to not allow that to maybe, again, me some kind of validation or that perfectionist part where I let that overrun and then I burnt myself out and my harmonizer part isn't being fulfilled because I'm not getting that connection. Like you had even mentioned relationships, like when relationships are really good, we're in this great place. Life feels so great. Everything's flowing. And then something doesn't go my way in a relationship. All of a sudden now I'm depressed and I have no motivation. So I think it's that finding that balance for me in my business right now.
So
But
just
I
like
like
we
again,
did parts therapy last time, you do for your parts, now you are more targeted. You know exactly which parts to, what you want from them. So you assign duties to the guardian, now step in when I start to overgive.
Yeah, like my mind's thinking, write it down. Like, what are the parts that
Yes.
feel for each of those roles, and what parts are unbalanced? And then that way I'm more aware where I can say, hey, okay, we're getting into that unbalanced part. We need to pull back in and maybe pull this part up to feel more harmonized or balanced.
Okay,
Thank
but
you.
want to remind you, ladies, how do you become a magician or a witch or whatever you call, a sorceress, a shaman? That's the one who learns to balance all this energy. Like I said, you came through certain channel, light and order or a dark and chaos. But the same with personality. You came with it. You're becoming aware of who you are and you're learning to balance it with other stuff so you can fit in when you need to, so you can take advantage of both worlds. The same with personality type. So when I do my training, we actually study in detail all the personality types, all the strengths in all the areas of life: health, spirituality, relationships, business, sales specifically. So once we get through nailing down our own personality types, we're learning others, not just so we can, use it in our work, but how can you step in into that type, become that for the task that needs to be completed. Parts therapy. So this is my weaknesses, for example, but now I need to polish my website, which is unnatural for me. Who do I need to be? You can't just, make up something out of blue. It doesn't work this way in our mind. But now you can identify a real being that may be suppressed or never awakened within you. And you can activate it. You can become that master web designer. And the same with everything else. Who am I now at this moment? Who I need to be more effective? And then you just shift. Takes a bit of practice.
Found out, well, I'm Harmonizer, but like you say, there's this sub one, isn't there, where you try and be something else to help you with it as well. I get the visionary a bit as well. I just recognised it in a couple of the other ones as well. But I'm definitely not the guardian. It's easy to say what you're not, isn't it? But yeah, and I recognise people, different types as well, people I know. But yeah, no, it has been helpful, because if they're in the wrong job or they're heading in the wrong career, it's just going to make their life a nightmare, isn't it? And people want direction all the time, and if they're an analyst, if they analyze everything and they see patterns and stuff like that, then they want to go for jobs like that, and we get I see a lot of hyperactive people, but then again, they work in bursts. So seasonal work or seasonal things like that would help them. So yeah, it's sort of like good advice to people, because there seems to be everyone expecting to do a 9 to 5, 5 days a week all year round. And that doesn't fit all these types, does it? So, they're not going to fit into the norm, whatever the norm is. So yeah, it's sort of like I can bring that into my work and see where they need to be heading for. Yeah.
It's very useful when you're trying to understand psychosomatics. You see someone with chronic pain or some conditions. What are they using it for? Okay, hyperactive type, if they got a 9 to 5 job and it's killing them, now they're going to have traumatic accidents, so they get injured and stay home. Just one of the examples. I can give you the appearance. Not all actually can be recognized visually from appearance, but some are, like that guardian type, usually wearing uniform of some sorts, military or police, that's obvious, that will be their uniform. But even people who don't need to wear any uniform, they have this inclination, so or their suit will be reminding a uniform, or even like jersey suit, That's too a uniform. They want to be efficient, they're very physical, so they don't want anything that will restrict their movements, like long hair, curly hair. That's unnecessary. That will be on the way. Jewelry will be on the way. It's not the most productive of my time putting the makeup. So this woman will not be using makeup. Also the body build for the guardian, it's strong, usually big bones, muscly. They're walking like they're in the military or they're in sports. The neurotic, the anxious type, they're underweight. Big eyes usually because of the fear, the anxiety. They're fidgeting. Sometimes they may look as they're not put together very well because of the high anxiety. This is where the most energy goes. But sometimes you can recognize it in the clothing. They're using it to protect themselves. Not according to the weather. The day may be warm, but they're covered completely for no reason. The day may be warm, they bought in a coat, or if they come into your office, they are putting some sort of barrier. So that's how you can recognize them. The empath and the harmonizer. Softer, comfortable, not the latest fashion, but comfort. Robes, pajamas, fleece, knits, warm sweaters. A bit of more weight can be. You're nurturing others. You need to feed other people off something. If you don't have a lot of weight on you, what are you going to give? You're going to kill yourself very quickly if you're constantly feeding others. See how you can look at this from different angles. Yeah. And it's helpful to know different traditions, different modalities, because if you know only one, if you're trained only in one modality or tradition, what do you compare it to? How do you know if it's effective, if it's working right now? When I see client, I glance at them, I read the face, I look at the way their body, the way they dress, the way they speak. I can look at their birth date. I compare quickly, and I know I'm on the right track. Yes, this is working. This person fits into this profile. But if I know only one, I have nothing to compare it to. How do I know if it's right? If I'm not making mistake?
Gives us an idea of the type of clients to work with. And I notice the clients that I do better with are the ones that also like to be comfortable. That's the word, feedback that I always get is, I feel so comfortable with you.
So this is your client avatar. And you know how to speak to them because this is you. And you all probably notice this is the client that come into your life. Or it's a reflection of who you are. Or can be the opposite. They finding in you something that they're missing. Like highly neurotic person can go to a guardian because they're seeking this grandness and structure. Hyperactive personality type. This is a celebration. Life is a holiday. So they will look like they're going to a party. A little different from the visionary. Visionary will, like a bird putting bright feathers on to attract attention. Flashy jewelry, latest fashion. This is who can be motivated by brand name purses and clothing and latest inventions. Visionaries. This is how you can recognize them. Dressed very well, latest fashions, lots of flashy things. The analyst type are of this world. They don't care about clothing. Different color socks, something mismatched, inside out clothing. This is who they are. Then who else am I missing? Paranoid. It's not attached to body type. Can be anyone. That's why I think that it's actually developed. It's not born into type. They will dress according to their goal. Two types that are stuck up. Our neurology is like a wiring through which this bio liquid flows and it moves by electric impulses. So how that wired, how fast it goes, where it goes, this is what creates our personality type. So two types that are stuck up, the guardian and the paranoid. So the thing can go only in one direction until the goal achieved. Only the difference between two, the guardian has a weak neurosystem. I'm focusing on it, but I cannot reach it. And the paranoid, it's too stuck up on that, doesn't see anything else, but that's the strongest neurosystem. They always reach the goals. So the guardian, this is who's interested in self-development courses all the time, going to work with coaches, planning things, and the paranoidal who does it doesn't see anything that can stop them, can become dangerous. Both actually can become dangerous. For guardian, this is a thing that makes life hard for them. Energy flows slow and heavy. Because it's slow, it builds up. At some point, they need to release it. Behavior is too, in a way, cyclical. They're okay, everything's fine, and all of a sudden they explode. What happened, who's in front of them, makes no difference. It's just because the time for the release, this electric energy build up and need to be released. So it doesn't matter what happening around, they will use it to release. You triggered me. And they can become very scary. Remember, 70% of men are that type. You've been with men, you know that. All of a sudden, out of blue, something you did wrong. Although you could do that 100 times before that and it wasn't a problem. They will explode. Their anger will come out. Some may get physical. And then they deflate and they retrieve. In men, it's very obvious behavior. In women, we cannot freely do this because we'll get beaten. So we have to control. So that's one of the obvious signs.
Don't they teach this in schools and career?
See, it's not even considered to be science. Profiling, actually, as we know it now, it originated in security of airports. This is where it started being used. Before that, the systems were only used in special forces, like in intelligence agencies. Pretty sure in the US and in England, for sure, they are learning something like this. Where I was trained, the system was originally created for identifying the threats for country. This is what it was used for. And then it was adapted to security. First, in the airports, you had to identify quickly where the potential danger can come from. When lots of terrorists came out, that was the time. You can't check every passenger on an airplane, but you can have highly trained people who just by looking at somebody can spot out a potential danger. This is where it was first practical use on a wide scale. And then they figured out, well, it works very well. Now in investigation, in police, it's used widely. Trainings are, well, it's not considered science because it's so young, and the schools are just being born and trying to figure things out. But in police, it's been trained now. I've been hired all the time because they see the practicality and the effectiveness. But to me, that was a huge and is huge help when I work one-on-one with people. If I see person only once, it's good that they booked 2-hour appointment. I have time to figure things out. But if they come for 1 hour and I need to do something life-changing, I have no time to dig. So this is hugely helpful because, especially for hypnosis, but I guess for any helping modality, to any therapist person comes, they don't know the roots of their problem. They don't really know what they need and want. If they knew, they would have it, right? They wouldn't need us. So whatever they say on the phone, what they come in for, may have no relation to the real problem. So by looking at a person I know what they're afraid of. This is the first thing I need to know. What they're afraid of. Everything else is driven by that. What will motivate them, what they will need. So whatever they said is happening now, I can filter through what I see. This is why they do it. This is what they need. Now I can be more effective in my work. Where else the application sales, very helpful in sales. I think very important, as you Corinne said, why is they not teaching us at school? Imagine how much happier we all would be knowing ourselves what we need and also within the families. Now we are not going to fight each other. I understand why you do the things you do. We would be so much happier if we all knew that. Importance of understanding who you are and who are other people. Courtney, did you figure out your profile?
Well, I'm like 6 of them. I don't know who I am. I'm a visionary, harmonizing, empathetic, hyperactive, anxious guardian.
Okay, okay. Work with it.
Yeah, I'm just a lot. And I know that. So, I mean, that's enough, right? Know thyself. I'm just a lot. I mean, the best way I can describe it even more is I'm my zodiac sign. I'm the maximum Leo. I am a warm, gentle, nurturing fire, but then I'll burn your house down. I am all these things. I cannot fit in a box. I am multitudes. But you know what? That's good, because then there's a lot of advice for me. There's a lot I can take in.
I want to emphasize the importance of looking at yourself through different traditions. You build a dossier through astrology. Now, knowing the profiles, you see your astrological birth chart, it will make more sense. You use everything that is available to you. You don't need to, become a professional in every modality, just the basics, so you can gather all the bits and pieces of who you are. To me, doesn't matter how I look through which angle, it's all the same. Even my personality profiles, empath and the paranoid, they are very obvious in my chart. How do I deal with enemies? I have 2 zodiacs coming through, Pisces and the Aries.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, in Pisces I have a moon, and in Aries I have a Mars. When people coming into my world, they see me as compassionate, kind, no boundaries, giving away everything. And I am like that. I am like that with everyone that comes to my world. And then if they did something wrong, this Aries turns on. And I have debilitated Mars, which is uncontrollable. So that Mars kicks in. Everyone gets what they deserved. And I don't stop, because that's my paranoid. It's until the end.
Get through until they're done and they surrender.
Yeah, you be wary of that type, because they're very vindictive. They will be punishing you until the death day. Not theirs, yours, because paranoids live very long time. Until your death day. They will not, because that's a stuck up neurology. They will never stop. And it is in my astrological chart too. It's the same. It doesn't matter how you look at it, you will see the same things. It's a proof to you who you are, but also it will show you the missing pieces that you couldn't figure out yet. So build the dossier on yourself. Your astrological charts, do both Western and Vedic, because they're both correct and they will give you additional pieces. Do your hand reading. By the way, your astrological chart is right here. But that too will give you the pieces you probably didn't know about yourself. Do your face reading. Do your personality profiling. There are many schools. Pick something that resonates with you. Study a little. Put it all together. A numerological chart and your name. Numerology of your name. Figure out who you are. Lighten. It's not hard to figure out. You already probably know now whether you came through the light channel. In Hermetic magic, it's called Apollo channel, the sun. the masculine part. And the chaos, the feminine, Dionysus channel. Core fear. This is the most important thing you need to know about yourself, because everything's driven by your fear. Core fear for harmonizers. Well, and the empath. Hurting someone's feelings and ruining your relationships. Not being accepted, not being able to fit into community. For the visionary, not being seen and recognized, not getting attention from other people, or not being understood. For the guardian, loss of control, because control represents safety to them. Control is the main thing. Losing control in whichever way, you know. This is the people who like to make up rules. This is how to recognize them. All of a sudden, they making up new rules. You think you're doing everything to abide, they will switch them and make up new rules. Fear of losing control. This is the main fear for guardians. For paranoid, fear of not being able to protect loved ones and themselves too, because that type is formed from betrayals. For hyperactive, is fear of dying, like not living in the moment, not celebrating, boredom. For anxious type is fear of physical danger, mostly physical, but then it transfer into other things too. They don't want to control like the guardians. They just want to stay alive and safe. The paranoid are this is just as they sound. They're very suspicious of everyone. It's on the face. Like for visionary, it's like they sometimes look snobbish because they, in their mind, they need to elevate themselves. Remember, there is a narcissistic part. They need to elevate themselves above others to feel better about themselves because they depend a lot on others. They don't have their own energy field. They need to get it from others. How do I deal with this in my mind? I'm going to convince myself that I'm better than others. So there will be this snobbish look on the face. I'm not sure how to portray it.
Resting bitch face. Totally.
I guess.
That's what it is.
I guess. The empath, the eyebrows, like a, house roof, like this. Sometimes smile, but little sad smile. Because there is a pain that comes from failed relationships. The kindest people, the guardian, intense look, because they need to project power. I am in control here. I make the rules. I am in charge. For the paranoid, the main thing is rejection. How do I become the most effective? I'm going to identify all the threats or things that are not productive, not conducive to my success, and I'm going to reject it. Half smile. I have it all the time. And it's hard to tell whether I judge or I'm actually smile sometimes. I remember when I was going through divorce, we had to go to court all the time. My lawyer was so mad about, like, you need to stop that because it's hard to read your face. It's like you're very sarcastic. I could be very sad in a moment, but it'll be half smile. It's like I'm there to mock everybody.
Because you're never letting them see you sweat.
Yeah. And for neurotic, big eyes. Because, little scared mouse. High anxiety and fidgeting. So this is how you can recognize. You have more tools now. But now you can recognize and you know what their core fear. You can use it. You can use it to help them or to help yourself. And sometimes it's too necessary. So you see how easy with clientele. Now you can identify who you get the most. So this is your avatar. And now you can tailor your messaging, even the way your website looks, to that type of people. Can be more direct to that profile and use it in all your messaging and in your videos. Speak to them. Since it's already working, don't worry about anybody else. You just focus on that group and you'll get more clientele. Dress in a way to respond to them. Put the colors on your website and tailor your language, what words you're using. Make a promise in response to their core fear and their core motivation. This is what I will give you. Doesn't matter what you're selling, you can tailor it, even if you're selling t-shirts.
Can I just say that with the ones that has that narcissistic element to it, it's like I've always thought, oh, it's because they've had something happen to them in their past and that, you know, and they're wounded from it. But sometimes what I've noticed is just in their DNA. It's just who they are, isn't it? And they will always want to be.
The recent studies on narcissism, they now telling it's being born, it's just a part of who you are. You're right, I mean DNA. Who you are, your soul is like this. Even within same family, children can go through the same experience and be completely different people. Someone stays empathic and kind and caring, and another one is very, very opposite. We can look at children that came out from very good childhood, wealthy families. They've been given a lot of attention and they're still very narcissistic. So what shapes them? Well, now neuroscientists say it's just the way they are. It's just the way they are, doesn't matter what they go through. There is an element to the culture too, because in some countries it's more prominent than in others. There is a cultural aspect, but still, I mean, you are who you are. It doesn't really change. It's just how much you can afford to be yourself in these specific circumstances. It's just like when people talk about money, well, money spoils people. No, it doesn't. Now you can afford to be more of who you really are. It's all. It's very important for little girls to hear that, I think. When a man says, I will change for you, no, it's just not possible. It's not possible.
I know, because my son's 21 and all his friends are trying to find their careers and everything. And one of them, he is very hyperactive and he starts a job and it's going really well. And then he doesn't turn up or he doesn't have the enthusiasm and he loses his job. And then that affects his self-esteem. And then he thinks he's not worth anything. And I'm thinking, he just needs to do a seasonal job.
Yes, seasonal project to project and so something different.
Yeah, something different every day. He's just been going for the wrong jobs, you know, and it's really affected his self-esteem and he's like lost his way a bit. And I'm thinking, no, he's just not really getting the right career choices coming his way. So that's, and I notice in all his friends, like what type of work they need to be sort of heading for, really, with just their personalities and that. So yeah, it helps on many levels, doesn't it, really?
I wish they would teach that during professional orientation in schools. They don't do this. My son, when they had this professional orientation in high school, I looked at the questionnaires. Do you like music? What kind of music do you like? Do you prefer nature or urban life? It doesn't give you much. It's so primitive. It doesn't give you much at all. Extrovert, introvert. The way we are taught, we think extraversion is a power, which is actually not really. Introverts are mentally much more stronger. Extraversion is when you're relying on the feedback. Introversion, when you rely on yourself, who is stronger, who can progress further. You need both traits. But how to recognize it? The easiest thing to recognize when they answer in a question where they get the information from outside or inside. If you would ask me, what did you have for breakfast today? If I am extroverted, I'll look around. Even though breakfast is not here, but I'll look around probably. And I will give you answer. If I'm introverted, I'll look inwards and it will look like this, usually. Or maybe a little to the side, but or down straight. This is introvert. Why is it useful? You have a client understanding who are they, what are they relying on themselves or on outside, on other people. Now you know how to motivate them, where their strengths and where their weaknesses. Even during hypnosis, you can adapt your language to them when you're embedding suggestions. And now that you do whatever the thing you wanted to do, you can see how everyone's admiring you or supporting you. This is for extrovert, for introvert. And now that you've got it, tell yourself, yes, you did it. Praise yourself, celebrate your victory. That will add effectiveness.